Hello everyone, welcome back to another particular lecture series of our asymmetric synthesis course, and this is lecture 5. And in this particular lecture we talk about chiral catalyst and followed by asymmetric aldol reaction. So in our previous lecture we already discussed about the generation of asymmetric synthesis, that how from the chiral pool synthesis the researcher has been come to the chiral catalyst part. So in our previous lecture, we talk about chiral auxiliaries and chiral reagent in detail. So if you missed that particular lecture, so I will highly suggest to go back and check that particular lecture and then come to this particular lecture. Now, if we talk about catalyst, I hope that you all know that what is the catalyst is. Catalyst is some kind of a molecule which not directly react with the reactant, but it do some kind of thing which actually alter the in a transition state. That means it might decrease the activation energy of the transition state, or it might increase the activation energy of the transition state. Now depending upon the activation energy, if it is decreasing, then it will call the positive catalyst. If it is increasing the activation energy, it is called a negative catalyst. So the catalyst role is something that it is not directly interact in the particular reaction, but it alters the reaction pathway, and after the reaction it becomes the similar way that it is introduced. And what is the chiral catalyst? Chiral catalyst means the catalyst which has a chiral counterpart, or it might happen that catalyst is itself a chiral compound. So this is the basic difference. Now in this particular class onwards, in the subsequent lectures, we talk about this 5 type of reactions. One is the catalytic asymmetric reduction of ketones. Then we talk about the catalytic asymmetric hydrogenation of alkenes, that is a Noyori asymmetric hydrogenation, followed by asymmetric epoxidation, where we mainly focus on Sharpless epoxidation, then called about the asymmetric dihydroxylation, and followed by organocatalytic reaction such as aldol reaction and Mannich reaction. So in this particular class we mainly focus our discussion over aldol reactions. Okay, now the asymmetric aldol reaction can be carried out via 2 different pathways. One is the incorporating a chiral auxiliary, that is the Evans auxiliary mediated aldol reaction, that I not directly shown here in this particular previous lecture, but you get a gist of that particular thing. Now in this particular lecture, I will to show you the cutting edge methodology of doing asymmetric aldol reaction by using L-proline. As you all know that L-proline is nothing but a naturally occurring amino acid. Okay, and this L-proline has emerged as a pivotal organocatalysis in asymmetric aldol reaction, which enabling the synthesis of chiral beta hydroxycarbonyl compound with high enantiomer selectivity, is greater than 99.5% EE, and that is huge, to be honest. And you can see that simple amino acid is actually responsible to getting this particular stereo like chiral compound as a major one. It is the nearly 99.5% EE, so it is huge actually. Now how that particular the simple L-proline has actually catalyzed that particular reaction so well that it actually ended up as a higher EE. Basically that particular magic is lies in the reaction mechanism. Basically what happened, that this particular 2 compound are react in presence of L-proline via a 6-member enamine transition state, which is a chair like, that I will discuss in the next slide obviously. So what happened, that one of the reacting partner are actually transferred to the enamine in situ via this particular proline, and then it will attack that form the enolate. Okay, but since it is an enamine formation, that is not enolate, so enamine formation takes place followed by the addition to form this particular product. That will I think that when I show the transition strength, that will be much more easier for you. Okay, now so this is the typical mechanism. See, this mechanism is very important. So, and little bit of confusing, so stay with me for a couple of minutes. Okay, now see here, this is your starting material. This is acetone moiety, the most simple one that I have chosen here. Now it react with L-proline. This is the L-proline. Now what happened, that it will generate a enamine by simply that N first attack here and followed by the OH elimination. So it will form the enamine. Okay, now enamine can be present in this form also. Okay, it can form this also, but it are those are reversible form. Okay, now what happened, this particular enamine react with aldehyde, for example, to form this 6-member transition state. Now the drawing of this 6-member transition state is required also skill. So I will show you how can you draw. First draw a cyclohexane molecule. That I draw like that way. First draw a cyclohexane molecule like that way. Now put your aldehyde or the other reacting moiety here. Okay, don't put the substituent here right now, and put this particular double bond here, because you have to make a bond between this and this carbon and this carbon. You have to making a bond after the aldol reaction, so it will put like this. Now you can see here, one is a group is there and one is the N is there, so put the N here and put the other group in the axial bond. Okay, now here also it contains two substituent, so put one axial, one equatorial. Here the both are H, so put here H, put here H. So I just remove this to avoid complicacy here. Now this also adds substituent. This RH can be changeable, because since this particular center is both are hydrogen, so that means there is not that much steric repulsion, so we can draw it like that way. Okay, now the interesting part and the most crucial part to determine stereochemistry is that particular H. This actually are present here. This particular N, this group is here, and here you can see OOH. So this is the transition state. You have to draw like that way. Now interesting thing is here that this particular H are actually complete the transition, the 6-member transition state, because they are actually hydrogen bonded with this particular O as well as the N. And since this particular COOH has the elevated like above the plane stereochemistry, that means this hydrogen is also above the plane, and since this particular hydrogen is induced with this particular carbonyl part, that the CO part, that means this will also lifted up from the surface level, which actually enables the ultimate stereochemistry. For example, you can find here that since this particular H is up, so it lifts that particular O also. So when this particular bond is generated, this particular OH become the above stereochemistry you can find here. Okay, and when using L-proline, it's always in a above. For example, in this particular see here, something written is here. See, this particular hydrogen is the responsible to organize the transition state. Okay, now in the next slide you will see that final stereochemistry is completely dependent on the proline COOH group stereochemistry because of the H bonding influence. For example, when you are using L-proline or S-proline, okay, L or S-proline, so what happened that the COOH group is above the plane, which leads the final product OH stereochemistry is also above the plane. And when using the R-proline or D-proline, then the transition state looks like this. And you can find here, since this particular are in the below the plane, that means this hydrogen is also below the plane, which actually drags this particular O also below the plane. So the final stereochemistry is also below the plane. And the R group, you might be asked that why the R group is always equatorial, because in the equatorial position it poses the minimum steric repulsion, so it tends to be like that until and unless there is a big bulky substituent is there, because if here is R and R is bulky, so it might cause some kind of steric repulsion with this particular proline part, which actually hampers the stereochemistry. So that's why R is always present in the equatorial position. So this transition state is very, very fascinating, as well as when you understand this, it will be very interesting. And always remember, depend upon the which proline you have used, R proline or S proline, or L proline or D proline. Always remember that when you incorporating L or S proline, always the OH stereochemistry will be above, and when are you incorporating R proline, the the attacking OH stereochemistry will be below, and this will be formed in the enamine pathway. So I hope that you understand the asymmetric aldol reaction in details. In the next class, we talk about the asymmetric hydrogenation reaction followed by epoxidation and dihydroxylation reaction. I will wrap up this particular asymmetric synthesis course. So thank you for listening.